guys, so I have college talk number 10. 10? Oh my god, we're on number 10. Yay! Okay. That's fun. So today is going to be Q&A number 3. So I kind of forgot, did a lot of things. I kind of forgot about the whole Q&A thing, so sorry about that. Getting back into it. I'm going to leave right off in the questions where I left off in the last video. If you haven't seen 1 and 2, I will link them in the description box. But yeah, so let's just get right into the questions. So Perpetual Promise asks 2 questions. Should I try for reach schools? What are your favorite things about college life? So I assume by reach schools, I've never used this term, but I assume you mean schools that you're less likely to get into or harder for you, maybe someone in your position to get accepted to. I've talked about this before. Yeah, I mean, why not? There's nothing really stopping you from trying, but you can't have super high hopes if you aren't, necessarily really qualified to go to that school. I mean, that's just kind of common sense, I guess. But I mean, there's no hurt in attempting, fun. And what are your favorite things about college life? I have a whole video about what I love about college. This is my first KatizzzleTALK video, even before I started the College Talk videos. So, I think it was the first one. I will link that below. I did this over a year ago. Good times. Casey Loves Candy asks, what clubs or activities did you participate in during college? Does YouTube count? Hedgehog Peace asks, how many schools should I apply for? I've talked about this. I applied for, I believe, 7. I didn't know for sure, but I was assuming I would get into at least half of the ones that I applied to, so I wasn't really worried about getting in anywhere. I can't tell you how many. I'd say at least 5, and you have to know for sure that you're going to get into at least a couple so that you don't have to freak out about not getting in anywhere. But I say anywhere, most people I know anyway apply for about 7 or 8, so that's a good kind of number. Kate Anthony asks, how tough is the first week, and do professors jump right into material, note-taking advice? So, you asked this 2 months ago. I apologize for not getting to it sooner. So, for those of you who aren't in college yet, the first week is literally the easiest week of college, so don't take that as the way that the rest of it's going to be. But the first week, usually, at least the first lecture for every class is usually just the professor going over the syllabus, if it's a short class. My first week was 0 week, where there's only Thursday and Friday, so it's not really a full week. But yeah, every first class is just going over the syllabus, maybe starting the material, but very minimal based on the time that you have in the class. For my 3-hour classes, we go over the syllabus for like the first hour, and the second and third hours, you just kind of jump into a lecture. But it's not anything like overwhelming, it's pretty basic, so don't worry. Do professors jump right to the material? As I said, some will, depending on how much time you have, but it's pretty gradual. I mean, you do learn a lot over the course of however many weeks you have, but the first week I wouldn't worry about. And note-taking advice. I was going to do a whole video on I guess, note-taking in lectures and stuff like that, but I don't think I really plan to do that anymore. Just, if you're a typer, then, that's fine. The only thing I would say is just use shorthand, so you know, what short abbreviations mean. You don't have to worry about anyone else reading your notes, because unless you're someone who shares with everybody, then, that's cool too, but, where was I going with this? Cecilia S. asks, how to go in and meet your professors? I know it seems simple, but for us shy people, it's hard, haha. Do we just go into their office and say we wanted to meet them? I'm assuming that you're not in college yet, because otherwise you'd probably know about office hours, which I think I've briefly touched on before. Basically, office hours are a time set outside of lecture where professors just sit in their office literally, and anyone who wants to can come talk to them, whether it's just about anything or about material or midterms or any other exam that you may have had or have in the future. So that's just kind of a set time where you just be like, yo, my name is blah blah blah, I'm in your blah 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 class, and I just wanted to say hi. I've never done that. because that would be weird for me, but if you wanted to do that, you know, knock yourself out. Angelly Buchan, what? Hey, this may be stupid, but here goes nothing. Okay. Okay, so how was the meal plans, and did you end up making your own meals and ordering takeout? Thanks. Okay, so freshman year, at least for my school, everyone lives in the dorms, and if anyone who lives on campus has to get a meal plan. That's how my school works. So you get dining dollars, and you can use those on the on-campus markets, at the dining halls, and other specific places. So everything is made already at the dining halls, you can assume, but as far as the markets go, you can buy groceries there, even though they're like the prices are jacked up, so I wouldn't really go and buy basic groceries there. But if you live in dorms, usually you just kind of get the dining halls. If you live in the apartments though that have kitchens, then you can cook things yourself. I never got takeout, except maybe once we got pizza, but that was it. We pretty much just made our own stuff amongst the dining halls. Lily Hearts, maybe? How was the change from with leaving home and your family to a completely new place? I think I've talked about this before too, man, it's been a while. But honestly, it wasn't a big deal. Yeah, I really wasn't feeling any sort of anxiety about leaving home at all. I was actually really anxious to get out of there. But once I was actually in the dorm and my parents had left, it was a really weird feeling. It wasn't scary or anything, it was just weird knowing that they were going home and I was staying here. So, I mean, it was kind of bizarre, but it wasn't, you know, a big deal or anything. I think you kind of get accustomed to it. Everyone adjusts differently. A lot of people get homesick, but I was okay. Always be happy, Kay. Okay. Do you have organization tips or tips on how to study for your classes? I just did the study tips video, so I will link that in the description box. And, you know, actually, just watch all my college videos, because I follow a lot of topics there. But as far as organization tips, I don't know what you mean, like study organization or like room organization, because I am not necessarily a very organized person in general. My makeup section is very, very organized, and my books are all, you know, like nicely aligned and everything, and my clothes are folded and everything, but mostly my room is just, it's organized chaos, so I probably won't be the person to ask about that. I love musicals 256. Awesome. What are your community bathrooms like? Do you have to plan out when you're going to take a shower due to lots of others? I think someone asked me this earlier. I can't remember. As I've said before, the bathrooms are really not as bad as I was expecting, or I think that everyone else is expecting. My voice is not right. Okay. No, I never had to plan necessarily when I was going to take a shower, but as you go throughout the year, I said this before, you kind of get accustomed to when people generally shower. So you go in the bathroom, and I mean, if someone's in there and you don't want to shower at the same time, then, you know, just wait. It's not a big deal. And Renee, 1996, asks, Greek/sorority life? It exists. Yep. What are you asking me? I have a few friends who are in Greek sororities, or just sororities in general. I have nothing really to say about it because I don't have any experience with it, nor was I ever planning to. There is a lot of stereotyping going on with sororities. Some of it is very much true, and I guess some of it is not. I don't know, because I really am not a sorority person. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I don't want to offend anyone. Okay. Lovelow13 asks, do you have any move-in day tips? Sorry, this is late too. Just pack things that are easy to move, because I see people who don't put things in boxes or don't put things in like bags, and they're just carrying like all these loose items. It's just dumb. Why would you do that? So just, you know, consolidate and, you know, do things logically. I think that would really help. And some schools provide like carts that help you move stuff if it's like a far distance. If they don't, bring like one of those pulley things, because that's always helpful. Amanda KJ14 asks, how long did it take to feel like you were at home at college? I don't think I've ever felt like I was at home necessarily at college, but now it's kind of weird because going home doesn't really feel like home either. It's like this weird middle ground of confusion. I don't really think it's a bad thing. I think at this age where we're out of our parents' houses, but we're not really independent of them, is a normal state to be in, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. I felt comfortable in college fairly quickly. You get used to things pretty easily, at least I did, so I wouldn't worry about that, but everyone's different, so keep that in mind too. DinoRar G9X asks, what did you enjoy about move-in day and what didn't you enjoy? I don't know if I would say necessarily that I enjoyed anything about move-in day. I mean, some people were like so excited about it, but I was the only one moving in at the time that I was. I was the first one, I've said this before, that moved into my dorm, and so there wasn't really anyone else around except my RAs, who I got to meet, and that was cool, but, you know, it was just, here's my room, and that's awesome. What I didn't enjoy, there wasn't really anything about that either. It's honestly not that big of a deal, you know, it's just moving. It's part of life. Shandy? Anyway. Pierre asks, how did you and your roommates get along? I only had one roommate freshman year and we got along really well. I've talked about this before. I have the roommate tag. I will link that below and you guys can check that out. My sophomore year I lived with 3 other people, but we all had our own bedrooms, so I technically didn't really have any roommates. So that was really actually a very nice situation. But I don't really feel like I had any, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is here. I didn't mind having a roommate. It wasn't that bad, but I feel like if I had someone else, I would have really hated it. So I just got really lucky, I guess. Kelsey T asks a lot of questions. If you had a job, how did you budget / save money and keep on track with studies in school? Tips for incoming freshmen. Your experience with commuting at home or school desk organization tour. Tips on how you study. That's just a few ideas. I'll also be commuting, so I'm really interested in what you have to say about it. Okay. If you had a job, how did you budget / save money, keep on track with studying in school? Technically, I am employed by Chloe and Isabel. You guys know this, or you probably do. It's a jewelry company, and if you're curious about it, feel free to ask me some questions. But it's not a typical, I don't go in anywhere. It's more of an at-home based job, so that's not really an issue. And I also get paid a little bit from YouTube, not a lot. So that's that. Tips for incoming freshmen. Pretty much all of these videos are tips for incoming freshmen, so, you know, go through the playlist and we'll be fine. Your experience with commuting. Okay, so I've been commuting this is my 2nd year of commuting, and I live about 10-15 minutes away, and honestly, it's not a big deal. I actually don't mind it, except for parking. That is the worst thing in college ever. I hate the parking situation. There's no school where anyone says, oh, parking is great here. No, it's just a universal college thing that parking sucks. It's usually there's just not enough spots in the right places. Like my school is gigantic, like gigantic. So you don't want to park on this side of campus when you have class on this side of campus. We do have shuttles, but I hate taking them. I like walking because it's like my only exercise. So I would rather park somewhere more convenient. Well, parking sucks. That's all I have to say about that one. At home or school desk organization tour. I don't think I will be doing one of those because I don't think that would be helpful at all. I have like makeup stuff on this side of my desk, and then this side is like my school stuff, but it's not worth a tour or anything. Tips on how you study, I have a video on that one, as I mentioned. And that is it from you. Okay, moving on. Yellow K3 asks, is it easy to make friends in class? I love when people ask me questions about making friends because I am like the most antisocial / asocial person. I don't talk to anyone in class if I don't know them because I don't want to. So is it easy to make friends in class? Maybe, but I couldn't tell you. Liz Brooks has 3 questions. Tips for students living far away from home, dorm, shower tips. Is it better to live in a college in the city or country? Okay. Tips for students living far away from home. I don't live that far. I live about, what is my hair doing here? Okay. I live about 2 hours-ish away from home, so if I really needed to get something, then I could, but I'm far enough away where my parents aren't going to be here every weekend type of thing. If you live really far, honestly, it depends on how much connection I guess you have to home, wherever that is, because I don't really feel like I have a ton of ties there, but it's just kind of a nice place to go. So it kind of depends. Just keep in contact with your friends and family who live there if that's a thing that, you know, is an issue. And, you know, Skype, that's fun too. Dorm shower tips, I feel like I've talked about this enough already, so I'm going to skip that one. And is it better to live in a college in the city or a country? I've lived in cities my entire life, so living in a country setting, I have no idea what that would be like, and I think it would be kind of bizarre for me. So it depends on where you grew up. If you want to change, then obviously go with whatever is the opposite of what you are currently in. But otherwise, you know, do whatever you want. Rouge Dust asks how to organize notes in college, organizational tips. You guys are assuming that I'm an organized person. This is great. I would go just watch my study tips video. Maybe that would sort of help because I don't plan to do an organizational video because I don't think that it would be very helpful. Keandra Tyson asks, when did you start applying for colleges and when did you take the SAT? Any senior year of high school advice, I assume you mean. I started applying for colleges when everybody else does. Usually they are due, I believe, at the end of November. I'm planning to do an applying for college video, except I don't remember anything, so it's going to take a lot of research, which is why I've kind of been, you know, nudging that one to the back burner. I took the SAT once my junior year and once my senior year. I did better my junior year, so I went with that score, but I took it twice. Some people take it 3 times. I wouldn't take it any more than that, but I wouldn't take it just once either unless your score is really good. So make sure you give yourself enough time to take it, I'd say, twice. Any senior year of high school advice? As far as college apps go, if that's what you're asking me, make sure you get your recommendation letters on time. Make sure you ask for them with ample time because a lot of teachers, the ones who write the good letters, everyone kind of knows. So make sure you ask them with enough time to spare. And other than that, that's kind of a very broad question, or I guess vague question. So Amy Law asks, I start college very soon, so I want to know have you ever bought books online? I'm scared they will come too late. How long did it take for your books to arrive? Well, I can't really tell you that because that's completely based on where you live, who you order from, and all that stuff. Yes, I have bought books online. You usually don't need your books the first week of class. Can't say that for certain, but generally you don't. So a lot of books you can just get from the library. If you don't want to buy them, you can buy them at the bookstores on campus. If you buy them online, you know, that's always kind of a risky thing, but most of the time I've never had any sort of issues with that at all. I usually get mine from Amazon. Smiles5433 asks how, where, and when to get student loans / financial aid. Please answer. I have no idea. I don't get any financial aid. This is something that I cannot speak to at all because I just don't know. Okay, this is the last question for this video. Cynthia Mita, advice in high school to prepare yourself for college. Oh my god, this is such a huge topic. As far as preparing yourself for college, I don't know if you mean like academically or socially or what exactly you mean by this question. But I plan to do a couple high school videos, and people have been asking me to do them for a while now, so I might just have to do that. But just in general, preparing for college, as far as school goes, just get the grades, get the nice GPA, get the SAT scores, and whatever else you have to do, because that's kind of all that contributes from high school to college. You will at some point realize that high school, whatever you learned then, doesn't really matter anymore. And I know if you're in high school, it's like, well, I'm learning for nothing. No. These grades will contribute to something at some point in time. But as far as preparing for college, I don't think high school does that. At least my high school really didn't do that. So, yeah. Alright, hopefully this video was a little bit helpful for those of you who asked questions. If you have any more questions of your own, feel free to leave them in the comments and I will eventually get to them. Or leave them in the comments of the Ask Me Anything video, and that is more likely actually to get into the next one. So maybe you should leave them there. That is it. I do want to ask you though, what would you like my next college talk video to be? I know a lot of people are asking about college application and stuff like that, but any other ideas would really be welcome. So that is it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!